We have a lot of discussions in the salsa world lately because of heavy and strong leads.
What is embodied philosophy?
Like, I give you a word, and then you cannot just stay with the words, repeating the words in your head. You have to translate them into a sensation. It's not just being judgmental and saying, oh, these stupid people, they can't do this. It's not about this. It's like also very difficult. It's not easy. Your body tells the story about you before you even open your mouth. I think I have to kill this illusion. It's impossible for a dance class to deliver this kind of balance to your absolute imbalance.
The last time Sarah joined us, she talked about her journey into dancing and how philosophy became interwoven with her salsa teaching. This time, Sarah Balzat is back again, and she is talking us through her tool of embodied philosophy and how it applies in the dance space. Welcome back, Sarah.
Hi, so nice to be here again.
Could you tell us a bit about it? What is embodied philosophy?
Yes. So, I mean, if we talk psychologically, we have two different pathways of understanding the world down. So, I put something into words, something is explained to me, and after I translate this into the body. No, this is
Okay.
happening the most of the times in most classes. This is happening. No, I
Mm-hmm.
tell you what to do with your arm, and then you do it, and at the same time I show it to you. But it's mostly from my words to your body. No,
Yes.
I always say to my students, you cannot just stay with the words. Like, I give you a word, and then you cannot just stay with the words, repeating the words in your head. You have to translate them into a sensation. That's when you
Mm-hmm.
learn. That's when your body learns. No. And then we have bottom-up approaches, which is more learning from the sensation and then understanding something about the world and translating this into words. No, so one is, we're simplifying this a lot here, yes?
Yes,
But
of
one
course.
is thinking from the words to the feeling, or from the feeling to the understanding, yes?
Okay.
Words
Yes.
representing the understanding. Embodied philosophy tries to use the both ways to create a circle so that you understand really the entity of everything. So we don't stay just in the body or just in the understanding through words, but we connect this. Yes. So, for example, that um, I tell you a certain way of doing a movement, and I ask you to translate this into a sensation in your body. And then I
Mm-hmm.
ask you to feedback this back to me, to put it into words again. So we have kind of a circle, yes, of
Yeah.
understanding. I think especially for aspiring teachers, like people that want to teach, this is an amazing circle to do, because you don't ignore one of the two.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes, a lot of classes back in the days when I was taking classes, or even before taking classes, you learn a lot through just watching. So there are no words.
Yeah.
It's all simply physical interpretation. No, obviously between your movement and my movement is a process in my head and a thought process. No, there is this translation, but the main idea about embodied philosophy is that we try um, to create knowledge through the body. So, okay, we're thinking about, I don't know, any feeling that you have, let's say sadness. Yes?
Okay.
This has a certain way how it expresses in your body, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, so we try to express a certain feeling with the body, and then we see what happens. How does
Mm-hmm.
this express inequality, for example? Yes, let me take a very recent example. We have a lot of discussions in the salsa world lately because of heavy and strong leads. The last video I saw today, that one of my colleagues posted, was a video on the social dance floor where he was really the whole time making moves without giving a breath to the follower, really. Yeah, so it was well, I called it was a 3-minute monologue. Yes,
Yes.
there was no no listening. Yes,
Yeah.
and I truly believe that the way we dance says something about who we are and our skill set. So you asked me before what we could do better in the community, or what I would love
Yes.
to see. And I I just saw this and I was like, yeah, we want to be in community. All of us.
Mm. Yeah.
I strongly believe this. I would not say that even those people that have trouble being more silent and being giving more space to listening in a social dance, I think they want it too. But we all collectively in this community, we lack the skills that you need to be in community. Listening, for example,
Yeah.
accountability, yeah, softness, vulnerability, all of these things we need to
Yeah.
be in community.
And they're
Yes,
all things that are lacking.
a lot. I fear. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't like, it's not just being judgmental and saying, oh, these stupid people, they can't do this. It's not about this. It's like also very difficult. It's not easy to be able to have those skills. Yes,
No.
and I think that is very visible. And I say this in regards to embodied philosophy because this is what I look at a lot. Your body never lies. Your body tells the story about you before you even open your mouth. And we can use this to create knowledge for ourselves, to improve, obviously, improve our dancing, but also improve as people. And I don't think we can separate those two things because you're a person dancing. You're not the dancer dancing. You're a person. That
Yeah.
person has trouble. That person maybe lacks some skills that would be beneficial. And for all of us, for all the community, because we
Yeah.
are, after all, a subculture, a small community in comparison to much bigger, wider communities. So embodied philosophy tries to create knowledge or craft knowledge through the body and the mind and give space to both. A lot of dancers, a lot of students come to the class because they want to switch off their heads and they want to be in the body as a compensation for them being all day in their heads and not in the body. The problem is that both situations are a way to divide body and mind, but you can't.
Yes.
It's an illusion. So are you in your work time only in your head? No, but you're not enough in your feeling. Then you
Mm.
go to a dance class and you ask this dance class to be a compensation for the disbalance that you experience in your daily life. Obviously, I think I have to kill this illusion. It's impossible for a dance class to deliver this kind of balance to your absolute imbalance. So this is another thing that embodied philosophy tries as a tool. It's basically a tool that I
Yeah.
use in my classes, that I use also in my daily life, that I use for myself during the day, is that it helps you realize there's a disbalance. And I cannot now get a girlfriend and hope that my girlfriend will fix my disbalance. She won't. She can't. And it's a little bit like this with dance. You ask the dance to fix the disbalance.
Yeah.
And
It's
what
like
you
putting
will
a plaster on it. It can maybe alleviate it for that day, but it's not solved the issue. The issue is
yes.
still there and still as big as it was earlier in the day.
Yeah, it's just like covered, no?
Yes.
And as much as this might be painful sometimes, I do not allow this coverage. I say, let's look at it. Let's look at
Okay.
it. Yes. And dance is a picture of life. So all of it is inside. It's not a
Yeah.
collection of just the positive things of life. And the body is here to, we have two amazing tools, the body and the mind. We are unique as animals, let's say, in this big world that we have. And I think we can learn both. I can understand something, but then I cannot stop at the understanding.
Hmm.
I need to embody it. Oh,
Yes.
are you still there? Yeah, there was
You
like
still?
a
Oh,
little
yeah,
cut.
still there.
Yeah, it's okay. So, the understanding. Good. Now I have to put it in my body. Now I
Uh-huh.
feel something. Now I can translate it so I can also communicate it and share it with others. And to
Yeah.
be aware constantly that I learn the world through my body, through my interpretation, and through exchange with others, that's embodied philosophy.
I love it. That's very, very cool.
Thanks.
So if we are going to try and as a first step then, so if somebody wanted to practice, all right, I want to start bringing in this idea of something comes in through my mind. How do I translate it into my body?
Yeah.
Do I sit with it? Do I need to write it? What do I need to do?
So obviously there are different tools, and there are as many tools as people to do that, right?
Uh-huh.
I see this a
Okay.
lot. I see this a lot because, um, for example, people want to create choreography, as an example, no?
Hmm.
And then they listen to the music, and maybe they think about it. Oh, in this section, maybe I want to do that. Oh, okay, yeah, this step maybe. I mean, you could write a full choreography just on paper, no problem.
Hmm.
It's possible. We have words for
Yeah.
almost all the steps. You can invent your own words, no big deal. No? And then,
Yeah.
but what's happening in your head is that you're dancing it in your head. It's not that you see the words in your head, right? You think like,
Yeah.
okay, how does this feel? This might be it. No? And then let's say that would be a top-down approach. Yes, one of them. There's many of them. Let's say this is one of
Okay.
them. One I
Yeah.
can think of now. And you write everything down. Really extreme. Normally, it's a mix of both directions. But let's go
Okay.
one direction.
Okay.
And you wrote everything down. This like 2.5 minute choreography. You wrote it on paper. Is that a choreography?
Mm. Well, I would say no, because you don't know how it's actually going to work in practice yet.
When I studied choreography, my mentor said choreography is ordering things in space. If we are really philosophical and analytical about this, it is a
Uh-huh.
choreography, but it is a choreography in the space of paper. And of this paper, not of all the papers, just of this one paper. So if you want, you can frame it, and it's a great concept. You put it on the wall, it's amazing. The idea of dance, I fear, is that it is not able to conserve it. That paper, yes. You know what's interesting? Because if you do it on paper, everyone could look at it and see a completely different choreography, even with the same base of words, right?
That is true. Yes.
So actually, what choreography does, it reduces the the possibilities.
Mm.
So we haven't felt anything yet. No, we just maybe we got excited because the music, and we had a great idea that always feels good. No.
Mhm.
But then as a next step, you might want to actually put it into your body. So you put the music and you dance the things that you wrote on paper. Then you realize, oh, in your head, it worked quite well, but that transition between this and that didn't work.
Mm.
So you have to really connect to your body in order to understand this transition and what is possible. So the words become less important. No?
Hmm.
Then maybe you do it with the less speed and you realize that's comfortable, but the minute you rise up the speed, I need a different sensation in my body.
Yeah.
So my question is, was the writing on the paper unnecessary?
No, it was still
Because then later
necessary.
you because then later you change it anyway. So it doesn't matter what you wrote down.
I guess you could argue it either way. It does and it doesn't.
Exactly. So that's why I meant it has as many people as
Okay.
as many concepts as people. But
Yeah.
for some people, that's a great starting point because it
Hmm.
gives them security. There's nothing more scary in choreography than the first moment in the room without any choreography, but only the music and your body, and you don't know what to do. That's the worst thing for most people. So that would be a great way of surpassing a little bit this first confrontation.
Yeah.
No?
Okay.
There's a bottom-up approach as well. I put on the music and I improvise.
Uh-huh.
No? I always, for me, it was always very useful because I can connect more to my natural groove.
Mm.
So it is very much connected to my feeling. Yes. And then I might take a video and then analyze my own video. So I
Yeah.
go to a top down approach
Yes.
and see, okay, so this felt good, very connected to sensation. But it doesn't make sense when you look at it from the outside because something feels maybe very good, but then you have also an aesthetic point of view that all the
Yeah.
others really see, you know? So if you do a solo, you feel it, but everyone else sees it.
They're
And
seeing
then they
something
have a
different,
feeling.
perhaps.
Exactly. So
Right.
that's exactly what I mean when I say it's a circle. The
Mm-hmm.
moment you
Okay.
take one approach completely out,
Mm-hmm.
it becomes either a concept or an improvisation. But if you want to
Yeah.
do choreography, you meet in the middle. You
Okay.
need both.
Okay. I can see now how that would work and how that will function in a lesson, how the teacher is giving you some input, you take it on board. That would be the choreography written on the piece of paper. Take it on board, you try it out. So now you're doing the physical side of it. And then as you
But
feel
careful,
that,
but careful, careful,
uh,
because it's not just the physical execution of it. It must be you guiding your attention towards the sensation this execution gives you. If you
uh-huh.
surpass that, you stay with the words and a
Okay.
robotic movement. No? So
Okay.
this exactly the thing what we said before. What works for me, what doesn't? What can I adapt? What
Yes.
can I change? What can I take exactly as this because it's exactly what I feel I love it. Yes. So
Okay.
adapting to preferences
Uh-huh.
because you all have a preference. Everyone
Yes.
has a different preference. We're all, yeah, fluid in that
We're all
sense.
different. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the richness about it. So sorry, I
Yes.
interrupted you because I thought
No,
this was a
no.
very important point.
No, that is
Um,
a good point. So we're not just going through the physical of trying the move out. I also need to think about how does it feel? Where am I feeling it? And whether it's feelings, physical feelings, the sensations of it, and then bringing that back into my head to understand, right, what did that mean for me?
yeah, exactly. And then
Okay.
you have complete knowledge. Then you come to the point where you're actually embodying what you're doing. And
Mm,
then you don't need to make a video of the combination you learn in class. You have integrated in your system. You become it, really. It's yours now. It's not now anymore the pattern you learned in Sarah's class. It's yours. You learned it
yeah.
completely. You understood it, you felt it, and you feedbacked it back to yourself to put it
Uh-huh.
into your psychological personal landscape. And that's you coming alive. It's actually quite exciting.
Yes. That sounds amazing. I haven't even actually done a move. I've just kind of thought through the idea of doing a move, and I feel more empowered for it.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it also means that it all takes more time. So forget about it
Yeah.
going to a festival and learning 10 patterns in one weekend or even one day actually when you take all the workshops. You
Yeah.
don't no, I think it is very valuable for inspiration. But I'm sorry, it's not learning. Learning needs much more.
Mm-hmm.
Yes? Learning, if you look at it from the viewpoint of educational psychology, learning is changed behavior.
Yeah.
So, and it's not just changed behavior, it's changed automatic behavior.
Okay.
So, if it doesn't come out of your body without you planning it to get out, you
Uh-huh.
haven't learned anything. And
Yes.
you don't need to be the quickest learner. Have fun integrating things. Take your
Yeah.
time. Learn a move really. Like that's a whole universe
Yeah.
there.
It is that concept of learning. We have that in language learning as well, that you need to come across a word or a structure. There's like the most recent thing I read was 37 points need to come across in different scenarios. So it needs to come up in so many different ways before you can start to think you know it. Or if you learn a word, they'll be like, right, do you know what it means? How do you use it? What kind of word is it linguistically? What's the root of it? What is the etymology? What is the opposite of it? Many, many points, and you can go as deep with it as you want.
Totally.
And
And it is the same with the body.
mm,
It might tackle a little bit of a different place in your brain, but it is the same pathway, let's say. No? Um, and I mean, for example, I learned English and Spanish both really intuitively, like,
mhm,
but only when I actually studied the grammar, like, you know, knowing what kind of tense I would need to use or whatever. This is when I connected differently to the language. And that doesn't mean that you can't speak even intuitively. I mean, look at the landscape of the students in most classes in the Western world. They are not intuitives. Most of them are not. Why? Because we grew up in a different, we were socialized very differently. So
mm,
you can't teach someone that it didn't come up with it intuitively in the most intuitive way if they are already grown-ups. They are not children. So they have already established boxes in their head.
mhm,
So we need something that combines it, something I can hold on to, like an information. I can always hold on to an information. And then
yeah,
instead of just saying, oh, just do it, that I hear this a lot, or relax. These are unuseful corrections. Yeah, you see, I see your face and it's cringe. It's
mm.
unuseful. It hasn't helped anyone in the history of relaxing. Nobody
And it
relaxed,
never will.
and it never will by telling them to relax. First of all, relax, okay, but where, when, why, how? This is a lot of
And
research already. So
yeah,
we
and I
need to
need to
give
want to do it.
people,
You can't tell me I have to do it. I need to want to
no,
relax.
yes. And then if you want to relax, you say, okay, Sarah, I really want to relax. What does that mean? It's a concept. We need to explain it. If we don't explain it, you cannot use it. We don't know what it
Hmm.
is. Yes. So we need to give people something to hold on to. And in the Western world, and with people that are not intuitive and that were socialized not classically like in the Latin countries, you help them with giving them an information so they can hold on to it, and from there you guide them to the sensation so they can have the gear. Yes,
Yeah.
but it is not, it is very rarely functioning, especially with adults. I'm specializing in adult education, so with children it's a completely different
Yeah.
task, obviously.
Yeah. So there's a
But
different
if
range you're
you,
working with at that point.
yeah, so if you work with adults that all of them have already a fully developed brain, we have neuroplasticity, of course, no,
Hmm.
but they have tendencies, they have boxes they are sitting in, they have ways in which they do things, they have hundreds and hundreds of habits.
Yeah.
Yes, so they need something that they can hold on to change habits, to create new intuitions so that they don't
Yeah.
fall back onto what already exists. Yes. And if we believe that it's enough to show a little something and say, not like this, without any specific introduction into what we are working on now, and we don't connect brain and body for them and make it a circle, I think the chances that you will have a variety of students with a variety of body types that is inclusive, that gives love to everybody, where everyone feels included, I think is very difficult if we don't have those tools.
Thank you so much for joining us once again, Sarah. It's been really, really thought-provoking to talk through embodied philosophy with you. It's an amazing tool, and I think the longer we spend thinking about it, the deeper into it we can get. It's got a lot of application in the dance space, and thank you so much for bringing it to the dance space and for sharing your message with us.
It's such a pleasure, really, and I hope that it makes everyone think a bit and that it encourages exchange, because this is really the biggest goal, and I think will improve our salsa world so much. So thank you so much, Bobby. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to the Empowered Dancers podcast. If there's an aspect of the dancing you would like to hear about, or a particular teacher you would like to hear from, drop me a message and I will try to make it happen. Make sure you subscribe to get every episode as it comes out. Thank you so much for the comments and questions you are already sharing. I really, really appreciate it, and I look forward to serving you in next week's episode.